Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Now friends, we're going to be doing not an unboxing, but a walkthrough of a deck and a book. And let me tell you a story, because this is not the first time I've tried this. It's not the first time I've tried recording this video. The first video actually was an unboxing. However, I had a very rough beginning with the relationship between me and this deck at the beginning was very, very unsatisfying. Let me tell you again. I really am going to tell you the story. This deck that I have right here, and the book I have right here, here it is in the bag, was a pre-order. It was a pre-order at least 2 years ago. And I pre-ordered it. I was really excited 2 years ago. And then a year passed and I believed it was coming out. I believed I would receive it, but it was placed towards the back of my mind. I had other things on my mind, and then suddenly I lost my job. I had to move to a new city, and things changed. Life changed. Life happened. And then I received a notice of failure to deliver. Yes, the creator had finally sent out the decks and was surprised that after 2 years, apparently a lot of people had moved without telling her, I think it's a her, without telling them that their address had changed. I had forgotten I had even ordered it. So I'd received notification that this thing had attempted delivery, unable to deliver. So I reached out to the creator. The creator said, "Oh yeah, it came back." I said, "Okay, thank you. You didn't contact me anyways." It came back. And I said, "Can I get it reshipped?" And they asked me to pay for shipping again. Okay, so I agreed. I don't want to unduly burden a creator, because I know what the creator is probably not making a whole lot of money on this project anyways, but I was a little bit frustrated. And then when I received the items, the book, the decks, I was happy, but I'll show you. The book was damaged when I first got it. And as I was recording the video, apparently my mixed emotions messed up my camera. Mid-recording, more than half of the video, the camera flipped up. I don't mean literally flipped up, but I was recording on my phone. And you know how on phones, the cameras, there's a camera going one way and a camera going the other way. And in the middle of my recording, the camera recording flipped up, so I was, without my knowing it, recording the ceiling for more than half of the video. And so when I went and I moved my recordings over to my computer and saw it, I was so frustrated that I just deleted the whole thing. Now I probably should have kept the first part of the video to show you the condition that the stuff was in when I first received it. Did not do that. So today is not an unboxing. However, it is a walkthrough. In the interim, I waited a while, and then I eventually took the deck and the book back home, and I decided to start doing a one-a-day draw from the deck, just to see, because this is a pricey deck, actually. And I was surprised. I was surprised at how relevant the card-a-day draws were. I was surprised at how meaningful what I was reading in the little white the little guidebook. It's not white, it's almost purple black, but the little guidebook that came with the deck was for me. And what I was doing was, you'll see, it's a combination of an oracle deck and a tarot deck. Now, there are two different decks that come together as a matched set, which is another thing that I love. If you know me, if you know the way I use tarot, you know that I love matching oracle decks and tarot, and this is a naturally matching tarot and oracle deck. So, if you're curious about this, you've seen it in the title. It's called The Tarot of the Nameless One. You want to take a look at this revelation of a deck. Hang around and I'll turn the camera down and we'll dive in together. Okay, we're back. I just didn't want to have you suffering through all of the shaking that was going to happen because of the heftiness of this book. Now you see, again, this is a cloth cover with silver stamping. We've got two moths. Very, very lovely. One thing that I was a little bit, quite upset about when I received this in my hands, the moment I opened it up, I noticed one problem. Yeah, perhaps because it was shipped 3 times. When I got it, to me, the binding had already split right here. That was upsetting, frankly. I don't know, but I'm still very happy I got the book, and I highly recommend you get the book. Because, let me show you why. So, what do we have here? Yeah, we've got the end papers are lovely. I just wish they hadn't split like this. The end papers are lovely. We've got this purpley maroon color on the inside, same pattern as on the box, which is actually a little bit of a rubberized, just lightly soft touch, yeah? Just subtly rose petal. So, back to the book. So, what do we have? The Nameless One, a Tarot and Oracle Deck, Companion Grimoire, first edition, written and illustrated by Alexandria, Huntington. Very nice. The paper is a little bit glossy. Perhaps you can see the gloss on it a little bit there. Yep, there you go. There's the gloss, and I'm sitting back down. Here's a disclaimer. Every attempt has been made to research and validate the information contained in this book thoroughly and ethically. However, the art and practice of tarot, spells, and magic are highly interpretive and ever-evolving. Furthermore, magic, spelled M-A-G-I-C-K, of any variety should only supplement and never replace professional, medical, psychological, or legal advice, and I highly agree with that. Dedication. Dedicated first to Helios, my son, whose smile fills my heart more completely than the light of the sun fills the summer sky. That's lovely. Second, to my mother, whose unyielding devotion and patient love is both a comfort and an inspiration. Third, to my sister, who gives herself fully to everyone and everything she loves unequivocally. Fourth, to my partner, without whose forbearance and support this lofty endeavor would likely never have come to be. Finally, to all those hearts still brave enough to believe, without qualification, that magic still exists in this often cold yet always beautiful world we share. Lovely. Beautiful art. Again, this is a wonderful book. Table of contents. Briefly, let's look at what we've got here. The Nameless One Oracle, an introduction of tarot, the oracle omens, sigils and shadows, a word about rituals, word about correspondences, a word about sun and moon energy, suggestions for working with the Nameless One. Great information. And that's about almost 17 pages worth. Then we go directly into the major arcana, majors at magic, and that goes from page 20 to page 134. So you'll see there's a lot of information for each card in this book. Then we have the minor arcana. The minor arcana goes from page 134 to page 364. So each one of the minor arcana cards has a lot of information as well. And then we've got the oracle, which starts from page, I'm sorry, I lied. So let me go back to the numbers again. The major arcana goes from page 20 to 134, right? The minor arcana goes from page 134 to page number 449. That's a lot of information, right? And then we go to the oracle from 449 to 609. And then we've got appendices with spreads, sigil magic, master list of sigil affirmations, and we'll glance through this briefly. We're going to spend most of our time on the major and minor arcana, and then we'll go to the deck. So we have an introduction to the Nameless one. Now this is a deck for magic. And I'm not sure, well, I'll talk about that when we get into the cards. Okay, so tarot tradition, these masks, these are the masks that are representative of the court cards. We've got a king, we've got a queen, we've got a prince or princess, and then we've got a joker instead of the page. The prince or princess is for the knight, the joker is for the page. Sigils and shadows. Let me take, let's see, let me bring you into this for just a moment, because I think this is important information for this deck. I won't read it all. The term sigil derives from the Latin sigillum, or seal. In medieval ceremonial magic, sigils represented various angels and demons. These sigils were considered the spirit's true name, and thus granted the magician a measure of control over the beings when they were summoned. These sigils were listed in magical training books, also known as grimoire. This is a grimoire. The most famous of these ancient grimoires was the Lesser Key of Solomon, which includes sigils of the 78 princes of the hierarchy of hell. However, in the late 19th century, English artist and occultist Austin Osman Spare completely revolutionized sigil magic in a way that would profoundly influence modern occultism. Turning medieval sigil practice on its head, Spare argued that supernatural entities such as angels or demons were actually complexes of the subconscious and could be actively conjured and controlled using a process called sigilization. Similar to civilization, right? Sigilization. Rather than using sigils to manipulate external spiritual entities, Spare created a sigil system intended to manifest desires blocked by conscious minds. His method consisted of writing down a statement or of intent and distilling it into an abstract shape that would maintain the affirmation's pure desire without relying on language. Spare's system is the basis for most modern sigil practice and a cornerstone of modern chaos magic, also called success magic or results-based magic. There are differing thoughts about sigil magic, power of creation. Now, sigils and tarot. Sigils and tarot are natural allies, as they both reach beyond our ego and into the depths of our subconscious to help clarify our intent and manifest our desires. For sigils, we distort the letters of a command and turn them into a symbol, which prevents our ego from interfering with our ability to access our inner power. So that's how the sigils were created. Or one step, I believe. On the other hand, tarot uses illustrations to provide a framework through which we can analyze our internal narrative and contextualize our subconscious concerns. In other words, a sigil gives the universe a command to manifest a desire. Tarot cards tell a story. Sigils are active. Tarot cards are passive. I don't agree with that entirely, but let's keep going with that. Tarot cards may reveal a problem, while sigils can be used to rectify a problem. Okay, but I believe with path working, we can also rectify problems with tarot. Another conversation. Both are very powerful tools and both rely on visual symbolism. True. By combining their strengths, we can mitigate their weaknesses. Okay, that makes sense. So here are some examples of the sigils that are being used in this tarot and oracle deck. So a word about rituals. We got the elements, cleansing rituals, a word about the sun and the moon, correspondences, suggestions for working with the Nameless one. Good. This Venus flytrap, you'll see it. First card. I'm always intrigued by Venus flytrap plants. They're so fascinating. Anyways, the major arcana, brief description, and then we go to the Fool. Like I said, the major arcana, the first card, Venus flytrap plants. And can you, let's see. Okay, I'm standing up so I can see how much glare I'm giving you. Because, like I said, this is glossy paper. But for each card, not just the major arcana, but for each card in this book, we have a full page image of the card, which is beautiful. And you can see this is the Fool card, and I assume that this moth is the Fool, leaping over the dangers of the Venus flytraps, and there's a sigil here. So, what do we get on the side? I'm going to sit down, and hopefully the camera will zoom back in and be happy. Let's see. Let me get the camera. Okay, that should be good. So, the Fool. We get the name of the card. Well, we get the sigil on the card first. Then we get the name. Then, just a moment, I'm taking a sip of coffee. We get alternative oracle titles, which is interesting. The Untethered Traveler, the Wanderer, Flight, the Spirit, Pure-Hearted One, the Child. Interesting information. We get an affirmation. I'm overflowing with bravery, confidence, and potential. We get the number, 0. Element, air. Astrology, Uranus or Uranus. Animals, butterfly, dog, bird. Well, I get the dog. I get the butterfly. I've never thought bird, but that kind of makes sense. Plants, white roses, ginseng, and cedar. So if you are interested into plant magic, or perhaps even the use of essential oils, cedar it has an essential oil that's readily available. Rose, very expensive, but rose also has an essential oil. Ginseng, we can eat that. Yeah. Crystals, clear quartz, watermelon tourmaline, citrine. Colors, white, yellow, yellow-green. Candles, white. So you've got a lot of stuff if you're interested in doing magic or rituals with the cards. And here we have a little statement. Ever onward I will fly until the day I am to die. But even then I will ascend, for all things change but never end. Beautiful. Pithy. And then, again, we continue with the same card. We get an overview of the card, a description. A single white butterfly dances on the winds of fate, each breath of air pushing her towards her destiny. Instinctively, she understands the truth. A moment is forever, and forever is a moment. Meanwhile, a Venus flytrap lies in wait with 5 hungry yet patient mouths, expectant and firmly rooted. The plant senses her motion in the surrounding stillness. Its mysterious beauty is alluring to the butterfly, despite, perhaps because of, the risk it represents. Then we get upright meetings, we get in keywords and then a brief description, reversed keywords and then a description. Then we get information about the sigil. Let me show you the sigil again. Sigil. Let me read to you about the sigil. It would have been nice to have the sigil here too, but that's another matter. I am overflowing with bravery, confidence, and potential. The Fool reminds us to take a leap of faith and trust that we will prevail. Yet sometimes we lack the confidence to trust our instincts despite our limitless potential. Embrace it, for you are the only one who stands in your way. Suggested uses for the sigil include, but are not limited to, navigating challenging, scary, and unfamiliar territory, beginning a new stage in your life, overcoming the limitation to start a new project or endeavor. So it doesn't explain the sigil, like, why is this shape here? Why is that shape there? Which I understand, because remember, the sigil is to access our unconscious mind rather than our rational minds. So explaining what, for example, going back to the sigil itself, Explaining why this dot is here, or why these arcs are here, or why these two lines are here, would bring our conscious minds in between this sigil and the connection with our unconscious. So this sigil was created with these ideas in mind. So this is very helpful. And then what do we get? We get symbols. Yeah, a description of symbols, a very long description of the white butterfly, and then the sun. Again, let me show you the card again. The sun, butterfly, Venus flytraps. Yeah, white butterfly, sun, Venus flytrap. And it continues. Then we've got significance of the colors. Colors, yellow, green, white, red. Yeah, yellow symbolizes the element of air. Red symbolizes the element of fire. And then more description. So this grimoire is magnificent. If only it would have been bound a little bit better. But this grimoire is magnificent. And then we have the next card. Guess what this is? This is, of course, the magician. And I'm not going to show you every card, but we've got all of that information for all of the major arcana. So now you're thinking, yeah, but what about the minor arcana? How much information could they have about those small cards? So this is the world. Here we go into the minor arcana. Okay, so understanding the minor arcana, the aces, the pip cards, the court cards as a significator. So this is wonderful information and fairly detailed. The jester, okay, the court cards as a significator. Then we've got the individual cards, yeah? The jester cards. The nameless jesters replace the pages in a traditional deck and add a touch of whimsy to the court cards. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. The princes and princesses. Each suit includes either a prince or a princess specific to its element and court. Each of these cards represents one of the 12 zodiac signs in Western astrology and embodies its trials. Yeah. So we've got princess for blades, prince for branches, which is wands, prince for cups, and princess for coins. So it's not so much on the idea of male for the more active suits and female for the more receptive suits. Yeah, we've got a princess of blades, usually considered a very active suit, yeah? But a prince for branches. So what I think is we've got princes for branches and cups, which are the passion, the emotion, the fire and water. We think of them as opposites, but they are also part of one spectrum, right? On the other hand, we have princesses for blades and coins, which are two of the other, on the other spectrum, right? The air and the earth, the fire and the water, which kind of makes sense to me. Now, each suit has a queen specific to its elemental court. Each of these represents one of the 12 zodiac signs in Western astrology. So the prince, princess, the queen, and the king are all also representative of Western zodiac. So we've got let's see, Gemini, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Virgo. Scorpio is fixed. Okay, so it's not because of that. Yeah. Leo is fixed here, and we've got, let's see, what's the fixed one here? It's not Pisces. I think it's Capricorn, Libra. Okay, anyways, that slipped on my mind. Anyways, so moving on. So we got information about astrological correspondences, zodiac traits and dates. We've got a wonderful chart here for each sign, what the dates are, what the symbols are, whether they're fire, water, air, or earth. Colors indicate, but we also have the symbol, and then some keywords for each of them. Wonderful chart, beautiful chart. And then we get into the suit of blades, yeah, the swords. And ta-ta-da, another full page color image of the card for the ace. We got the title, we got alternative names, we got an affirmation, a number, element, astrological information, animals, moth, dragon, eagle, plants, bay, laurel, rowan, mint, crystals, colors, candles, gold and red. And then we've got another pithy statement, yeah? Or maybe a spell. Wield a sword in the name of honor and truth, or be led astray by the passions of youth. Seek, speak, and hear only what is good and right, and you shall have allies of unspeakable might. These are, and here's the sigil, Next page, there's even more information. We got the overview. We've got the upright, keywords and descriptions, reversed keywords and descriptions, information about the sigil, the symbols in the card. This is wonderful. The overview tells you what the card is showing us. Yeah, we've got a magnificent blade rises in victory and pierces through an ornate crown. It describes exactly what's here. But then we've got the breakdown of the symbols. This is such a wonderful grimoire. I cannot tell you. So this goes through all of the cards. Yeah? Goes through all of the cards, and then we get into, there's the suit of cups. And we get into, cups. And here we go into the Oracle of the Arcana. Okay, so here we go into the Oracle. Now the Oracle section dives right into the cards, yeah? We've got a brief description of the Oracle, and here we have Oracle 1, the King Cat. So this was the image. So it gives you the full image of the card. Let me tell you that these images are very dark in several ways. The colors are dark, but also we've got a lot of bone here in this deck. So just be warned, yeah? Forewarned is forearmed. But for the Oracle decks, just the same. We've got the name, an affirmation, number, element, astrology, animals, plants, crystals, colors, candles, another spell, yeah? An overview, upright meanings, reversed meanings, yeah? Both keywords and description, sigil. And then we go into the symbols. Such depth of information. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And that's the same for each one of the cards in the Oracle deck. And we'll get into that very briefly. We'll get into the Oracle deck later, is what I'm trying to say. So, at the end of the Oracle deck information, this is the last card, which I pulled yesterday. We get into Appendices. And we'll just look at this very briefly. We have Tarot and Oracle spreads, wonderful information. Beautifully described. We've got the cards, backs. These are the backs of the cards. But we've got a lot of spreads here. Yeah? I'm sorry, let's go back. I kept talking and flipping pages and I stopped focusing on what we're doing. So, a 1-card draw, a 3-card draw. Very standard. 4-card draw, facets of self-spread, which I think is wonderful. And then we go into spreads for each one of the zodiac signs. Yeah, an Aries spread, a Taurus spread, a Gemini spread. This is so interesting. And we get right to the Pisces spread, the last of the series, and then sigil magic. It gives you information about sigil magic. And then we have master lists of sigil affirmations. Which, look at all of this wonderful information. Suit of Blades, the Ace of Blades. I remain clear-sighted and level-headed in both victory and defeat. The King Cat for the Oracle. I am my best self and the sole sovereign thereof. Look at this. And then some extra sigils. Yeah? The deck was funded in full by the community for which it was made. 8 out of the extra 30 oracles were made from commissioned sigils for these donors to reward their generous contributions. There were about 64 of these custom sigils made. The community voted for their top 8, and those were added to the deck upon popular request. I have included the remaining sigils here, along with their corresponding affirmations, though there were not they were not destined to become cards in the Nameless One deck, they are nevertheless works of substantial effort and magic, reminding us of the power of collaboration. So even though these sigils are not in the deck, I suppose if you wanted to use the sigil in your practice, you could redraw them or trace them or take a photo of them and use them, knowing that, for example, this one means my mind is still, my energy is channeled in only constructive ways. This is just fabulous. This is just wonderful. Magical correspondences, yeah. The sun, the moon, we've got astrological correspondences, and we've got Pluto here. I like that. I still love me my Pluto. We've got zodiac constellations with a glyph for the zodiac sign. We've got the element, the name. We've got the tarot correspondence, and then we've got influence. Dynamic encounters for the emperor, active manifestation, energetic growth, birth of potential, self-advocacy, intensity, action, force of will, authority, ambition. This is, I can't tell you how wonderful I think this grimoire is. The major arcana, astrological associations according to the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. So we've got that here as well. And so you can compare about, for example, let's see, we had the Emperor, we had Aries. Yeah, it was Aries here. Right? Right. Let's see, Sagittarius, Temperance. Let's see, Temperance. Where are you, Temperance? Okay, just the Hangman, Temperance, Sagittarius. Looks the same. But the esoteric titles, we've got those here, which is good information. Yeah, we got the esoteric titles for the minor arcana. Just in case you've forgotten where you can find that information, it's all here too. We've got daily magic. We've got numerology of the tarot. Yeah, for the aces to the tens, and then for the major arcana, 1 through 9. And let's see, we've got in number 1, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. So let's see, 19. Okay, High Priestess, Justice, and Judgment. Okay, so this is the way I would normally, this is the way I organize the cards for myself. Some people would say that the Magician goes with Justice, and let's see, 11 and 21, which would be the World. That's another way of numbering them. This is the way I conceive of the numerical correspondences. So I like that myself. And then we get animal correspondences. Look at all of this. What does an ant mean? What does a crow mean? What does a doe mean? Yeah, there are fish in here. Yeah, there are butterflies. There are insects. There are ants. There are mermaids. Yeah, a very diverse grouping of living creatures. And then we get plant correspondences. Yeah, a very diverse list, alphabetically ordered from acanthus right down through, what's the last one, to yarrow. This book is fabulous. And then we get crystal correspondences, also alphabetically listed, from agate to zircon. Yeah, promotes spiritual and physical healing, improves happiness and prosperity, enhances positive energy. This book is fabulous. Color symbology, candles, and then spell work. We've got a good number of spells here. Manifesting desire spell, prophetic dream spell. This is wonderful. And then she lists her references. Also wonderful. This academically well-researched book is fabulous. Acknowledgements. Let's see. I know I'm not in here. Let's see, Nate. So it's by first name. So if I were in here, my name is Derek. Demi. Yeah. Dave, Don. Diane. Yeah, I'm not in here. I didn't think I would be in here. I got in on the game, as they say, a little late. And then we've got an index. This is such a wonderful grimoire. Okay, and the back of the binding is also cracked. So, the binding, not so good, but the book is fabulous. And in case you didn't notice it, there is and I haven't started using it yet, there is a bookmark, a wonderful, wonderful ribbon bookmark, which let me pull out right now. Okay, so, yeah, good books of this size should always have a ribbon bookmark. This is such a wonderful grimoire. Okay, so I told you this is going to be long. Buckle in, buckle up. We're going to go into the deck in just a moment. I'm going to pause the camera so I can reset the camera and zoom in so we can see the cards in more detail. Be back in just a moment. So here we are with the deck. And you see it came in this beautiful, beautiful velveteen, probably, maybe it's real velvet, but probably velveteen bag with a sigil right here on the front. The back is plain. Because it is velvet, it does pick up dust and stuff, but it is beautiful and it feels so nice. Let me pull out the box. Now, here we go. Here is this beautiful, beautiful box, which is similar to the box for the book, right? Same colors, lovely smoky design, sigil on the front. We've got the name of the deck on the side, the Nameless one, a tarot and oracle deck. There, you can see it better. Lovely design for the back, and this perfect ribbon. Now, this ribbon is, I believe, more decorative than necessary because even though this ribbon is here, notice, ta-da, the box has a magnetic closure, which is actually pretty useful. It's just strong. Well, okay, so now it's making me a liar. It's not holding down, but there we go. It's usually strong enough to keep the lid nicely closed. So open it up, and what do we see? We have a sticker that was sent with the deck. Nice. Same sigil. Yeah. Okay. So, certificate of authenticity, name of the creator, first printed edition released in 2021. Nice. Just a plain white card. And this is what the back of the decks, what the back of the cards look like. Yeah. Very lovely. So, let me pull these out carefully as I can, and let's see, I'll show you the box. Inside of the box, very nicely done. Now we've got that similar smoky maroonish purple color, and on the lid, every time this sigil is seen, more power do the Nameless glean. By the might of land, wind, flame, and sea, to powers untold I hold the key. As I have willed, so shall it be. Wonderful spell. Okay, beautiful box. And here we have, notice this. Okay, so here we have the tarot and the oracle and the little guidebook. So the guidebook is helpful. It really is very helpful. And let's look at the guidebook first. I'll put the major arcana here. I will put the minor arcana off, not minor, I'm sorry. I'll put the tarot here. I'll put the oracle deck off to the side for just a moment. And let's take a look at the little book, because the little book really is helpful. And it's a thick one. So we've got very nicely printed, yeah. Similar to the larger grimoire. Disclaimer, same disclaimer, but the contents are much more abbreviated. We've got an introduction into the oracle, dear reader. We've got similar spells here. We've got tarot traditions. We've got the oracles and omens, sigils and shadows, differing thoughts on the sigil magic, charging sigils, activating sigils, some similar information. Suggestions for working with the Nameless one, lovely image. And then we go right into the major arcana. So we've got some of the important information. Now, when we get into the major arcana, we have the full picture of the card. Let's see, it is glossy, is it not? But you can see, we've got the same thing, the large image of the card. And then here, we have the title, the sigil affirmation, the upright meanings, the reversed meanings, and that is all, which is enough if you just want a quick peek or reminder of what does this card mean? You can find it easily, you can remember it, because now you will notice on the card, there is no number, there is no title. This is not, in my estimation, a deck that is suitable for a beginner in Tarot. Yeah? It's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith system. It really is based on that system. There are some variations, but it's primarily Rider-Waite-Smith. The art is not Pamela Coleman Smith's art at all. There are some elements we can see that are reminiscent, but the artwork is very different. There are no numbers, there are no titles. So, this guidebook is necessary. It's necessary, even for, I believe, an advanced practitioner of Tarot. However, once you get used to it, it's surprisingly easy. It's surprising how easily I was able to adapt to this deck. I have shuffled it many times, every day, for a couple of weeks now. And then, before this video, I had to put them all back in order. And except for the court cards and a couple of the minor arcana cards, I was able to put them right into order. I could recognize what each card was without consulting the book. And then for those few that I was confused about, I consulted the book and said, oh, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah? So, if you know the Rider-Waite-Smith system well, like you can think of a number and you can bring the card created by Pamela Coleman Smith to mind without looking at it. Now, if you're that familiar with the system, you will get to know this system or these images very easily, very well. That won't take much time. A beginner, on the other hand, I believe should start with probably a different deck. But this is such a beautiful deck, and I've found so much. Okay, let me tell you why I'm so excited. I've been doing daily draws with this deck and the companion oracle deck for a couple of weeks now. And I am astounded by how relevant each daily draw has been. It's probably been perhaps the most relevant tarot deck for daily draws that I have used to date. And I've used the Thoth, I've used the Mary L, I've used a couple of other decks. But for daily draws, this deck has been a revelation to me. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Along with the Oracle deck. As perhaps because of the companion Oracle deck, it adds another layer of meaning and significance to the daily draws. Okay, so this book is useful. It's necessary. However, I highly recommend when you get this deck, when you get this deck, that you get the larger Grimoire. Invest in that money because that book is phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. Okay, so we've got the card, we've got this brief amount of information, which is a good reminder. And then we go through the major arcana, and then we go through the minor arcana, for example, the suit of branches, and we get the full page image, we get the title, the sigil affirmation, the upright and reversed meanings for the minor arcana as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful little book. And it's a little book. Now, what do I think? Would I have preferred more information and smaller images? No, actually no. Because these images have no title, no numbers, having the full image has been really, really helpful to me. Really, really helpful. And then we go into the Oracle section of the card deck. Where is the Oracle? Where are the Oracles? Okay, here's the Oracle. Yeah, okay. So here we go into the Oracle cards, and we have a really brief description of what the Oracle cards are, and then right into the card descriptions. Just the same. Sigil, name, sigil affirmation, upright meanings with keywords and description, reversed keywords, description, and that is all. But we still have the full page image of the card in color, and this book is wonderful. It's a wonderful additional information. And at the back, what do we have? We have tarot and oracle spreads. We got some of the spreads from the larger book. 1 card, 3 card, simple cross spread, facets of self spread, and that is all. But that's enough. And acknowledgements. So this is very good. It's a wonderful companion book, but get the big one. Really, really get the big one. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now, and let's get into the cards. Again, the cards, they are black matte edged. Beautifully, beautifully done. This is what the back of the cards looks like. And sigil, same color. How is that showing up on camera? You want me to go in closer, don't you? Let me go in closer. Okay, so I'm going in closer so you can see these cards in all of their glory. Much better. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to bring in these crystals so that I have better markers as to where I am on camera. Yeah, that's the primary reason I have these crystals here, so I know where my shot ends on the sides. Okay, so here we go with the deck. They're large cards. Let me show you what a Rider-Waite Smith, published by US Games, looks like in comparison. Here is my Universal, and size-wise, yeah, it's a much larger card. The tarot deck is like a large-ish oracle card deck. Yeah. So for me, I have large hands. I can get my hands around the deck fairly easily. It's not too much of a challenge. Now, as far as thickness, these cards are fairly thick, but they're flexible. They've got a soft finish to them. A bit of a soft touch finish, but they've got really, really good flex. Yeah, they're not going to bend and fold. They've got great flex, so shuffling is remarkably easy for me. You'd think that something like this would be difficult to shuffle. I enjoy shuffling this deck, and I've shuffled it for several weeks already, for a few weeks already, and the edging is still pretty dang good. Yeah, I've had other decks with matte black edging that I've received, and after just a few shuffles, chips start appearing. Yeah, this is not chipping. I don't think. I think this is just from use. Let's see. Yeah. So that's not chipping. That was just some dust from use, right? Okay, so now, as far as thickness goes, I said that this is the paper or the cardstock was thick. Let me show you a comparison of height. Let's see, how do I want to do this for height? Let's see, can you tell how much higher this one is on camera? Now, you can see a little bit, but let me put them side by side for you. Now, this is what they look like side by side. So, compared to standard US Games cardstock, this deck is significantly thicker. I would say maybe 350, but don't take my word on that. 350 GSM, possible, but I'm not an expert in that by any means. Okay, so we're going to go into the major arcana first, and we're going to start with the Fool. And so we saw this image already. Yeah, we got the butterfly leaping over or flying over, but leaping over the plants. We got the sun in the background. Once you get to know this deck, seeing this as the Fool is fairly easy. Yeah? And then we have the Magician. How can we tell it's the Magician? We got the cup, we got the wand, we got the coins, we got the sword. The tools are all there. We don't have the one as above, so below, because foxes can't do that very easily. But we've got the idea of the Magician here. And then we have the High Priestess. Now, this one took me a moment to recognize when using this deck. I got confused by this card a little bit, but I shouldn't be confused. What do we have? We have the moon. We've got this scroll reminiscent of, it's not the Torah. I mean, these symbols are not Torah symbols, but we've got a scroll, just like the High Priestess has the scroll. We've got this skull here, which is interesting, and coins in the eyes. One of them has a pentacle, one of them has something else. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But I love the raven and the snake. Do you see the snake here? And the creatures in this deck are just phenomenal. There are no humans in this deck. Okay, so there's a face in the moon, but this is not a human. This is the moon. Okay? It's the moon. There are human skulls. Okay, there are human skulls, but there are no real people. I can't look at that skull and say, for example, this skull is from a white person, a black person, a brown person, a yellow person, a male person, a female person, a transgendered person. I can't tell that. So, okay, moving right along. So these cards do show a little bit of, for example, if you have lotion on your hands, or I have lotion on my hands. So they do show signs of oil from the hands a little bit, but that wipes off. Here we have the Empress. What do we have? We have the pomegranate. We have the wheat. We've got a sword of, I think the sword is the symbol of power. Yeah? Love how these three grains are dropping out. Maybe that could be a reminder that this is number 3. And then we have the Emperor, yeah, Aries, right? We have the ram's head, and we have another sword of power. And we have a red color here, right? We've got the red in the pomegranate, but we've got a much warmer color palette for this card. And then here we have the Hierophant. How do I know it's the Hierophant? Well, we've got the 2 columns. We've got a censer. A censer, I should say, a censer. Think for incense. And then we got the 2 keys here. One thing about this deck, you can see in full light, now we do have a little bit of glare on here, I'm sorry about that, but we do see in full light that the image is not horribly difficult to see, right? Now, I usually do my 1-card draws at night, by candlelight, and these images and the book are a little bit difficult to see clearly at night by the candlelight of 1 candle. Just saying. So what I do is, when I do my draw, I bring the candle over to me and I put the card behind the candle so I can see the image clearly. And then when I go into meditation, I put the card a little bit farther away and I put a candle right in front of it so I can see fairly clearly. But reading with these cards in full light is much easier. But this is a beautiful deck. It really is a beautiful deck. Let me focus. Okay, so moving on from the Hierophant to the Lovers. Now notice we have a fully feathered bird and then we have a bird skeleton. Yeah? So we've got that idea of perhaps opposites or ends of a spectrum. We've got the tree, which is usually there. Usually 2 trees, but we've got 1 tree here. Yeah? And notice there's a pearl or something that they're sharing between them. It's just lovely. We got feathers on the ground and it looks like an egg here. Okay, so yes, this is the Lover's card. Now, you might be thinking, how would I remember all of these things? Well, again, if you know Rider-Waite-Smith's typical symbology, already we see that here. But also, there are no other suit elements in these cards, yeah? There are no wands, there are no blades. Well, there are blades for the Empress and the Emperor, but except for that, there are no blades, there are no real coins or pentacles, there are no real wands in the major arcana. So that helps separate them out. Now, this is the Chariot, of course. We've got the light horse and the dark horse facing in opposite directions. These horses are unicorns. Lisa Papez, these horses are unicorns. If you're watching this, unicorns. So even in this rather dark palette and dark toned and sometimes very dark imaged deck, there are these wonderful, fantastical things like unicorns. And here we have strength. Now look at this. We've got the lion. Very sinister looking lion, right? But we have with the paw, with the thorn through the paw. And this would be a mouse skeleton. So instead of a human taming a lion, we've got this balanced interaction between the lion and the mouse for strength. Beautiful, beautiful card. And for the hermit, can't you tell this is a hermit, right? We got an owl, which in many decks, in many animal decks, the owl is selected for the hermit, right? And then we've got the lantern with a candle. And we got the moon behind them. Oh, such a beautiful, beautiful owl. And then we have, oh, look at this. Okay, so what card is this? This is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is actually one of the cards that I had trouble placing when I was putting the cards back in order before filming this video. This one I still need to get into my head. But we've got the cycle of, we've got snakes, we've got kind of it's not really an Ouroboros because this snake is eating another snake, a different snake, which winds up here. Maybe it winds up there. Maybe these are just two different snakes. I don't know. Very interesting. But we do have a nod to perhaps different seasons, I guess, here. More of a spring, more of a fall. Okay, so I really need to read that book a little bit more to get more information about this. What is this? This is, of course, justice. We got the balance. We got the sword. And then we have a nod to the Egyptian idea of mat. Yeah, we've got the heart and the feather being weighed. The thought put into each one of these cards is just magnificent. And this is the Hanged Man. Yeah, we've got a hung fish. Yeah, we got the fishing line and a hook, hooked on a line. This fish is somewhat part skeleton, but basically a skeleton of a fish. But the colors in this deck are also remarkable, yeah? This steel blue, this green, yeah? These pinks, these deep pinks and reds. The color palette is just remarkable. And then here we go with what would be after the Hanged One, but death, yeah? Cutting the lines of life. Cutting the lines, the strings of fate, the threads of fate. We've got moths with the little skulls on them, yeah, often a representation of death. We've got the threads of fate being cut. Instead of a scythe, we've got scissors. But even on the scissors, we've got a skull, a skeleton. So it's fairly easy to remember. Oh, and look, in the sigil, should have mentioned that. We have scythes in the sigil as well. So it's fairly easy to recognize this as the death card. And then Temperance. This is another card that I had a little bit of trouble remembering what it was when putting them back in order. We've got a crane of some sort. Now, we do have perhaps a nod to, let's see, maybe land and water, maybe? I'd need to look at that book again because I don't remember very clearly. But this is the Temperance card. So here we have the devil, and we notice the chain around the devil's neck, or the beast's neck. And this beast is a horned beast. So once you know this, once you see that change, it's chain, yes, the devil. The devil made me do it. Another quote comes to my mind from The Exorcist, but I'm not going to use that one here because We might have people with sensitive ears. Yeah, I'm the devil, blah, 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 me. That's what came to me. Okay, so here we go with the tower. Yeah, now this tower is not being cracked open, of course. However, we get the idea of, ta-da, a tower. And these oranges and the colors in this deck. And after the devil, the tower, we have the star, right? We got all these little stars. Now, this planet here could be a little bit confusing. Now, is that the moon? It's not the sun because we just see the stars, but is that the moon? What is that? But we do have plants down here. We have a beautiful moth flying in the night. And this is the star card, or the stars card. And after that, this is the moon. This has come up for me a few times in the last few weeks. Yeah, we have this night flowering flower. We have a moth, beautiful tail, beautiful colors, and then the moon. And after the moon, we have the sun. Yeah, moon in these purples. The sun in these yellows and oranges. Yeah, sunflowers. And then this burning ball of sun here. Isn't that lovely? And then after the sun, we have judgment. We have the angel, a skeleton angel with the trumpet. We've got wings. Now we got a little creature rising up. Or several creatures, 1, 2, 3, at least 4, 5. A lot of creatures. Oh, these are all creatures rising up to the call of the trumpet of the angel. Clearly the judgment card. And this is the world card. Now, I got this card in a couple of pulls, so I know it by now. Yeah? And I can recognize that this dragon-like creature in a lemniscate is the world with butterflies. Now, notice, we often think of the world as the transition from the journey of the fool, yeah, to the world, as the world is the liminal space into the next leg of the journey. So we got the white butterflies, yeah? The white butterflies. I mean, this deck is so intelligent. It's so intelligent. I'm so glad I decided to pay for shipping again. Okay, so that was the major arcana. I'm not going to promise that we're going to go quickly through the minor arcana because they are so rich. Now, swords. You can see the sword. We can see the crown. Yeah, we got the laurel going, drawn here. We can definitely see that this is one sword, the Ace of Swords. The Two of Swords. Yeah, we've got the blindfold on the skull. We've got the two swords crossed. Very easy to see that this is the Two of Swords. Love that this is a steel blue color. And then we have the Three of Swords. Yeah, 3 swords pierced into this snake. It's one snake. Yeah, an Ouroboros that is knotted. Notice. Let me traverse this for you. Here's the head going backwards, the body coming down, coming up, coming down. It's like this intricate Celtic knot of a snake. And you'll see that the blades are actually piercing the snake's body. So now, okay, I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that if you don't like seeing snakes and you don't like seeing animals being pierced, this might not be the deck for you. But this is just so deep in symbolism and colors and the simplicity, but the depth of this deck is remarkable. And here we have the 4, yeah? Rider-Waite-Smith card. What do we see? We see a knight on a tombstone with 3 swords below and one above. No, 3 swords above and 1 below. Now I'm all confused. Where are the swords? Where are the swords? I got my Rider-Waite-Smith deck right next to me. Where are those swords in the 4 of Swords card? Sometimes you... Okay, so yes, 3 above and 1 below. Right? Here we have 3 below and 1 above. But still, we've got the idea of the tombstone here, right? Yeah? And we've got flowers going around. So we can definitely see very easily that this is the 4 of Swords, and we get the idea of the grave, the eternal rest. The decoration on this tombstone is beautiful, isn't it? and the roots below. Yeah, we see the roots below the plants. Beautiful. And here we have the 5 of swords. Now this was actually a little bit difficult for me to recognize my first pass through the deck as I was putting them back in order, because instead of swords, they're more like spears, and I was like, what is this? Is it a wand? Is it a sword? But once I got things separated out, I saw again in my second pass through that, yeah, this is the 5 of swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hyena. Competition, perhaps. Conflict. Here we have the 6 of swords, and here we have, look at this phoenix rising up, yeah, in all of its glory, in all of its purple glory. I love purple. Lisa Pop is purple. Sorry, I keep thinking of Lisa as I look through this deck for some reason. Beautiful, beautiful deck. It's 6 swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after seeing this, I recognized that, oh, right, the spears are swords. So that when I went back for the second pass, I recognized the 5. Okay, the 7 of swords. We have this one creature, probably a mongoose, on top of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swords. Surprising, no? And notice the skeletons below. Now, instead of, now the mongoose is often thought of as a trickster, kind of robby, steely kind of animal, I believe. Yeah. So that might be a reason for using this mongoose in, or maybe a ferret, in this deck. But we can definitely see 7 swords here, and we get the idea of things being collected here. This looks like stacks of money and jewels. And isn't that a rat down there? I just noticed that. I hadn't seen that rat before. And notice how different each one of these knife blades is. The knife handle hilts are. Oh, this deck is just fabulous. Here we go with the 8 of swords. 8 of swords in Rider-Waite-Smith. We get what? We get the woman tied up, surrounded by 8 swords. What do we have here? We have a rabbit tied up, surrounded by 8 swords. Now, this rabbit is not going to be able to get out of their bondage as easily as the woman in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith, could get out. And I'm just trying to find my 8 of swords here, just in case you are not as familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith as some other people might be. And of course, it's going to be at the other end of the deck. Just a moment. And there she is, the penultimate card. There she is. Yes. So, yeah, she could probably get out of her situation pretty easily. Yeah, she could. These are fairly loose. She could cut them open on the sword, remove the blindfold. There's an easy exit behind and in front of her. This rabbit, it doesn't have such an easy exit. However, we get the idea of the 8 swords being tied up. 9 of swords. Look at that. Oh, talk about nightmare. Yeah, we've got, maybe it's a griffin, and we got the 9 swords. Now, I don't know how many nightmares a skeleton would have, but still, we get the idea of this being the nightmare card, don't we? Oh, notice that. I had just noticed this. Notice this arm is clutching one of the swords. Yeah? Ready to defend itself. Himself, herself, theirself. Yeah, these are skeletons. Choose. And doesn't it look like this sun maybe is rising here? Like it's just about to be daybreak, even though this could be a headboard. Oh, this deck is so smart. So smart. And the 10 of swords, yeah? Scythes. And in the typical 10 of swords, what do we see? We see a person lying on the ground, completely run through with swords, right? And often there's a pool of blood in some decks. In Pamela Coleman Smith's art, there is no pool of blood, but we do get the red blood symbolism from the cloak around here. But yeah, these swords are definitely, except for maybe this one, are definitely in this person's back, right? So we get that idea of having been reaped by the Grim Reaper. Notice the blood on the hand. And the snake, again, I'm sorry if you don't like snakes, but the snake is just gorgeous. Okay, and now we get into the court cards. Now the court cards really are a little bit difficult for me. Not always. Now this is the king. The kings are a little bit easy to tell because we can see their suit here. Yeah, we see the air symbol, 1, 2, 3 of them. And also on the mask right here, we have the air symbol. And we got swords coming out of the head. So I could see the king fairly easily here. Then we go to the queen. Again, we've got swords coming out of her head. We've got the symbol here. Now, we've also, I believe, got astrological symbols in these cards, but I'm not seeing them right offhand, and I don't want to make you wait for me to show them to you. So, but we also notice we've got wings here around the queen. And what do you think? Now, these could be non-binary kings and queens, right? This card looks a little bit more feminine or more like women's headdress than this one. This one looks slightly more like a man's headdress. Traditionally, when we think of man's headdresses and women's headdresses, but you know, it's not really that important. I mean, it's not important that this has to be the boy and this has to be the girl. Yeah, the king could be a woman. The queen could be a man. We get to choose. That is what I'm saying. And then we have here, this is the princess, right? The swords, they're princesses. Do you recall? And here we have the element, the air element, right there on the forehead. And we still get the blades coming out of the head. And we have instead of bird wings, we have butterfly wings or moth wings. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The color, the design, these Venetian style masks, just, I love it. And then we have the Joker. Now, frankly, the Jokers have been the most difficult for me to see. Now, I can see the air element in this card, but I haven't always been able to pick out the suit element in the other Jokers. Let's see if I'm better this time around since I've been using this deck. So here we have the Joker of air or swords. Now we go into wands. Lovely. This card is a little bit difficult for me to see because it's hard for me to tell that this is one branch. This one was a little bit difficult for me to see on first pass. Just saying. Okay, here we get the 2. Now the 2 was easy for me. Yeah, we got the 2 branches, very easy to discern. We got the globe. Remember in the 2 of wands, when we see the person standing on the top of, or the roof of a castle, yeah, they're holding a globe. Yeah, there it is. So a lot of the symbols are surprisingly there, are surprisingly here. Here we have the 3. Now the 3, the symbols are a little bit less obvious, actually a little bit less existent, but we do have 1, 2, 3 wands. The rooster being here, the call perhaps to wake up, to get going, I mean, that perhaps is helpful. And the Grimoire gives us that information. Notice there's fruit actually already growing here. There was nothing, there were just seeds growing on the 2 of wands, and here we actually have fruit. So that could be a helpful thing too. We've got, looks like a dragonfly down here at the bottom. Okay, so we got the 3 of wands. Here we go with the 4 of wands. Yeah, 4 wands. Sometimes thought of as a celebration card, for some people, a marriage card. We get these 2 different hands holding roses. These look like a celebration set up, don't they? Don't they remind you of that Four of Wands image from Pamela Coleman Smith's art? Let's see. I'll just quickly see if I can find the four for us here, because just in case you are not as familiar with the artwork of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, here. Yeah. So we got the Four Wands. Each hand is holding flowers. Each hand is holding flowers. We got the idea of laurels here. We've got ribbons here, but we got similar ideas shown in this deck in a very intriguing, interesting way. And the five, competition. This is definitely competition. We got 3 wolves competing. One of them is a skeleton, but still, we got 3 wolves competing, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees in the background. Easy to tell. Purple. Okay, here we have the 6 of Wands. Now this is branches, right? We got a lion, but not only a lion. This is, what is that called? It's a lion that has the tail of a scorpion and horns. But the 6 of Wands is the triumphant one, right? This lion also has a crown. Triumphant looking card. Very triumphant looking image. Now this one was difficult for me to see at first glance, because when I first saw this, I thought, what is that? Is that the tower? I don't think it's the tower. Is it the tower? It's not the tower. It's the 7 of Wands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wands. They're there. They don't look like the branches or trees in the other cards, but still, it is the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is the one that's a person standing up defending their position. So yeah, a castle. We get that. And instead of the 6 of the 7 wands coming up from below, they're all at the top of the ramparts of the castle. But still, we get the idea. There are 7 wands, and there's a defensiveness here, or defense here. And here we have the 8 of Wands. We have 8 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, I counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees. And then we get the idea of swiftness, right? We've got this gazelle, perhaps, or deer, leaping into the air. That energy, that fire, that burst of energy. And then the 9. Usually it's a person kind of beat up, standing in front of a wall of 8 sticks with 1 stick in their hand, leaning on that 1 stick. Here we have the 9 sticks here, each with a skull on top of it. And we have this house, which is interesting. Yeah. Do you notice that this house has 2 bird legs? Go figure. So this is an image that would take study, but very interesting, intriguing, it draws you in kind of image. And here we have with the 10, the 10, we have the burden. This skeleton looks heavily burdened by, instead of carrying 10 wands, by being like Atlas, carrying the globe. But we have 10 branches, 10 wands here. And then we have the butterfly. Remember, this is the end of the suit. It's burdened, but it's the end of the path, end of the burden. Yeah, about to be able to move on to the next stage of existence. Okay, now here we go with the King of Fire. We get the horns. The King of Wands, I believe, has the Aries ram head on their chair, on their throne, I should say. Do you want me to look for it to show you? Oh, no, they don't. Okay, so I'm a liar. Now, we've got Aries, but that's the suit of Aries anyways. The King of Wands. And we have the fire symbol here. We got the fire symbol here. We've got wands, branches coming out of the crown. Here we have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, we do see branches coming out of the crown. We've got the sunflowers. The Queen of Wands does have a sunflower in their hand. Yeah. And Okay, King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, sunflower, sunflowers, right? We don't get the cat, but we do see the air symbol here. There are air symbols up here which are more difficult to see, but we get the air symbols. And here we go with the prince. Now this is a prince, right? The wands are princes. The Prince of Wands. We got wand branches growing out of their crown. We got the fire suit here. Beautiful. I love the colors in this deck. I've said that so many times. And here we get the Joker of Wands. Now, the Joker, I can't see the fire symbol in this Joker. I just can't see it. And we can see that the color is redder. But this is a card that's very difficult for me to see. Now, maybe this sun could be an indicator. Let me pull out I'm going to pull out these jokers as we go through because they really are the most difficult for me to tell. And here is the Joker of air, swords. And, there are no suns here. There are swirls like maybe air, and maybe these are like fire. We could see that. I'm going to lay out the 4 jokers later so we can compare them in more detail later on. So here we go with the Ace of Coin. Ace of Pentacles. Very easy to see that. Here we have the 2 of Coins. 2 coins, balance, sun and moon. We get that idea. We don't get the lemniscate around them, but we get that idea of balance, Light and dark, sun and moon. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. We don't get any people, but we do get the 3 pentacles in the somewhat church-like architecture. On 2 little plinths here. There are 2 columns beneath the window. Very interesting. There we have the 4 of Coins. Now we don't get the person clutching their coins, not in greed, but we do have bounty here. We have berries for bounty. We notice that each one of the coins is different. Now here's an air coin. Oh, I just noticed that. Here's an air coin. Here's a water coin. Here's a fire coin. And here's an earth coin. I just noticed that. So we've got the balance of the 4 elements here. Oh, this is such a smart deck. 5, 5. Instead of people walking outside looking destitute in front of a church that looks like it's glowing and full of light, now we have the trap of being trapped by the spider. And the image on the coin is the butterfly or the moth being trapped by the spider. So it's a little bit of a different idea, a different take on the 5 of coin. Here we have the 6 of coins. What do we have here? We have 6 coins. We've got a snake body, or a dragon body, I should say. There's the dragon. Here's the face, and the dragon goes this way. We don't have one person giving coin to another person, but we do get the 6 coins here, right? Okay, so it's easy to tell. Here we have 7. Now the 7 is very easy to tell. We got pumpkins here. We get the idea of waiting for harvest or harvest expected. We have brooms here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coins. It's all there. It's very easy to see. Here we have the 8 of coins. Art, craft. And here we have perhaps a magician's books, grimoires, scrolls, a skull with a candle in it, a black cat, a familiar, and 8 coins. So the magician's 8 of coins and 8 of pentacles card. And again, there are different things in each one of the coins, and you can see those when you get the deck yourself. Here we go with the 9 of coins, The 9 of coins. Usually a woman in the garden with their bird, the card of abundance and comfort and beauty. So we have the 9 coins. We've got the idea of the garden with the grapes growing here. This beautiful moth. Lovely. 10 of coins, family, legacy. We've got the 10 of coins. We've got treasure here. We got a little rabbit family. Just amazing. These roses in the background. Oh, this deck is just so smart. Now, this is not in the shape of the Tree of Life, but actually that might be a good thing. Now, we're starting to realize that maybe Kabbalah and the tarot, some of us may want to disassociate tarot, modern tarot, from that a little bit. Well, that's something we're still discussing. So it's okay. It's okay that those coins are not in the shape of the Tree of Life. Here we have the King of Coins. We see the coins. We get the Earth sign right there. And we've got kind of, animal horns, right? Not wands, not swords, but animals' horns. They're earthy. And we have tree leaves. So they're not branches, they're not wands, they're tree leaves. Looking autumnal to me. Here we have the Queen of Coins. We got all the coins there. We got where's the Earth symbol? Where's the Earth symbol? I don't see the Earth symbol. Oh, there it is, right up there. There's the Earth symbol up there. We've got horns coming up as well. And we have the Princess of Earth. We got the coins. We've got, that's not Scorpio. That must be Virgo. That must be Virgo. And let's see, where is the Earth sign? Where's the Earth? I don't see it on this one. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it, but you can see the coins in her crown, right? Or in their crown. And we see wheat growing down here. This is so smart. And here we go with the Joker of Earth. And I don't see an Earth symbol here. But we do see pentacles or coins in the collar of the Joker. So that could be helpful. So I'll set this aside. Here we have the cups. The cups, beautiful, beautiful card. Here we have the cup, single cup with looks like blood or maybe wine flowing out of it. But very clearly a single ace, a single cup being the ace. And we have lilies growing up. Reminds me a little bit of the Thoth, just a little bit. Two of cups. We've got two snakes in love, cobras, combined, which also reminds us of, in the Two of Cups, what do we have in the background? We have the staff with the two snakes going up it, right? Let me see if I can find the Two of Cups quickly. Two of Cups, here we go. Ta-da! Yeah, so these two snakes are those two snakes. We don't get the lion with the wings, but we do get two different cups, different colored cups, and the snake. And here we go with the three. I love this because the cups are different colors, they're different shapes. Well, two of these are similar, but this one is definitely different. We get that idea of variety, each one of us having our own thing to bring to the group. We have different colored bones. And here we go with the Four of Cups. So instead of one cup being offered from behind and three cups in front of the figure leaning against the tree, we got a frog on a huge, is that a pearl? Could be a huge pearl. The liquid coming to feed the other cups. So a little bit more of a meditative state, perhaps. And the Five. Now the Five, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vials, and we get the one at least, 3 of them spilling and 2 of them upright, just like in Pamela Coleman Smith's art. 2 of them upright and 3 of them knocked over. This cat does not look very satisfied, does it? We've got a bird skull, we've got candles. Oh, looks like the shelf of a magician, doesn't it? And here we go with the 6. Yeah, we have another unicorn. Lisa Papez, we've got a unicorn. And we've got 6 cups, or 6 plant vases. We've got plants, different plants in each one. Ah, this is lovely. And we get a nostalgic feel to this, don't we? And the 7. Now this one is a little bit difficult for me to see. It was hard for me to tell what this exactly was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just saw it. I didn't see it before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cups. Now, we don't get the idea of different objects in each one of the cups, but yeah, we can get it. There are coins flying out of the cup. It could be a wishing cup or wishing fountain. Ah, that's it. It's a wishing fountain. It's a wishing fountain. Okay, moving right along. 8 cups or 8 vials. Yeah, and this seahorse ready to move on. The seahorse is not going to get much out of those vials. We got the moon very clearly in the background. And look at this 9 of cups. Yeah, this cat looks very, very satisfied, doesn't it? With a jeweled necklace, much better than the fat guy sitting in front of 8 or 9 goblets in the background. Yeah, it was very comfortable, very, very comfortable. And each one is filled with something that would satisfy this cat. Yeah, we've got probably catnip here. We've got a ball of yarn. We've got other stuff. I'm sorry. The book tells us all things to satisfy this lovely cat. Very, very well pampered cat. And then the 10 of cups. Yeah, we got the swan couple and baby swans here. We got the family. We don't have a rainbow, but we've got overflowing here. Each one of these champagne glasses is overflowing. Lovely. And then we have the King of Cups. Now we have a fishtail in the crown. We've got the water symbol right there. We got, now it could be air, but it looks like water to me underneath the mask. And then we have the Queen of Cups, Cancer. Now the crab. And we have the symbol right there of water. We've got water below the mask. And here we have Scorpio for the Prince of Water. Now, water down there below. We got the water element symbol right there. Again, we have Scorpio. Now, we've got scorpions on the top of the prince's head. Again, another symbol for Scorpio. Or a symbol for Scorpio. What do we have here? Okay, I don't get many other, it's very clearly Cancer. Pearls, maybe pearls for Cancer, maybe. I don't know. Okay, and here we have the final Joker for water. And okay, yeah, I guess I could see water in the collar here. And there's a cup right up there. Was there a pentacle? No, there were pentacles here. I guess there's a little coin up there. There are little coins up here. So once you really get used to this deck, you'll be able to tell the difference between these jokers. Yeah. Here, let me see if I can get them lined up for you here as much as possible. Can you see? No, we can't see them all. Okay, so that was just an idea for me. But we can see that there are different colors. You can get used to the different colors. And we can see that there are different things in the decorations, yeah? This one is red, and we got fire here. This one is kind of yellowish, and we definitely have air symbol here. And swirly air, I guess, there. Yeah. This one is blue, and we got swirly water stuff going on here. And this one is kind of a greenish, and we have pentacles there. So it is possible to distinguish these once you get used to them. Yeah? Okay, so that was the tarot deck. Now, let me move right into the oracle deck. I told you this is going to be a long one, right? Huh. So, this is the oracle. And let's see. Yes, I put them from the beginning. Same backs, same size. Very easy to use this with the tarot deck. But let me use the guidebook with this, because these, you really, really need to have at least this to be able to use these. Because, again, no number, no title. Now, I've mentioned Lisa Papez a few times in this, and this is something that would probably turn Lisa off, because Lisa Papez and I also like to have a title and like to have keywords on oracle cards. However, these pairs so amazingly beautifully that I love these two decks together. So let me just flip over the cards and tell you what each card is, so you get an idea. And we won't spend too much time. I won't read too much of this. But so here we go with the King Cat. We get a cat skull, and this is I am my best self and the sole sovereign thereof. Okay, this is looks like this is the strategist. The sigil affirmation, I am wise, clever, and intelligent. Now this looks like a snake to me, and these bones looks like a very dark card, but this card is the serpent's tail. I am aware. No, it's a rattlesnake, right? You get a little rattler down there. Had a dream about a rattlesnake recently. Okay, so here we go with, looks like an elk maybe. This is the keeper of serenity. And the affirmation is, I am calm. Now, perhaps an elk at a watering hole, calm. They'd have to be calm to be standing there drinking out in the open. And this one is the bringer of luck. Yeah, we got clovers here. Lovely, interesting. I am a very lucky person. This one is the bringer of health. Yeah, my mind and body are in perfect health. Is the sigil affirmation. Interesting. Now, if you know these flowers, that could probably help you a lot. This one looks like a swan to me, and the giver and keeper of love. You got some feathers there. Lovely. I am loved, loving, and lovable. And this one is the guardian of the arts. Now, I am creative, prolific, and successful artist. Let me say that again. I am a creative, prolific, and successful artist. And we got that maybe Aries Ram idea going on here. Creative, yeah, maybe. Okay, so this moth, this maybe a butterfly, not night butterfly, moth, is the bringer of dreams. Yeah, I sleep peacefully and heal with each restful breath. This is definitely a moth. Definitely a death. There's a skull right there. Yeah. The bringer of powerful magic. My magic is consistent, continuous, and powerful. Powerful card. Notice the sword here in the sigil. This is just such a smart deck. And here we go with the, is that Baying at the Moon? Baying at the Moon. This is the Eternal Protector. Okay, so probably a canine of some sort. My loved ones and I are protected in all ways. Got mountains, we got the moon up there. Just lovely. And this one, what is this? This is, okay, I was thinking this looks like a money tree, right? Have you heard of a money tree? They're called something else in other places, but in the United States, this is called a money tree. And so first thing I thought was money. And what is it? It's the Lord of Wealth. Now, I am wealthy. Makes sense, doesn't it? Now, this is a lock and key. Secrets, yeah? The keeper of secrets. Now, some of these, I got that from the card first, and then I looked at the book. Really. So some of these we can tell from the image fairly easily once we get used to it. My privacy is maintained and secure. My secrets are kept hidden, is the sigil. And crystals, right? Now let me turn the page. Crystals. What does crystals mean? And that looks like fennel in the background. A thing of beauty. I am beautiful and others find me attractive. Okay, yeah, crystals are beautiful, are attractive. Here we go. Ooh, a bloody sword. Yeah? What is that? Defensiveness? Ah, the victor's blade. Okay. I am victorious. I overcome all hindrances and defeat all opponents. That makes sense, doesn't it? Ooh, a raven over sunflower seeds. Okay. Or sunflowers, flowers. This is the spirit of joyous liberation. I am joyous and free. These birds do look joyous and free, don't they? Okay, this one, oh, a pearl. A pearl in an oyster and some snake-like creature. This is, okay, corpses of creation. Now, this card I don't quite get yet. I'll need to look at the book. Corpses of creation. I create and I am creative. Yeah, this pearl, yeah, an oyster creates and is creative, certainly. But why is it corpses of creation? Need to look at the book for that. Okay, so, whoa, I'm sorry. In my excitement, I'm just knocking stuff over. Okay, so here we go with the forgotten ones. Okay, so these are very ancient looking sea creatures, the forgotten ones. I have found my inspiration. Okay, that's interesting. Good. Now, these look like hummingbirds to me. Let's see, the energetic flyer. That makes sense. I have an abundance of energy, stamina, and focus. Definitely makes sense for hummingbirds. Now, this is a snake. I'm sorry if you don't like snakes. This is a snake shedding its skin, right? Looking at the book now, the master of rebirth. Again, makes perfect sense. I release the past and embrace the future. That just makes so much sense, doesn't it? And here we go, a bee on a flower. Bees, diligence, maybe? Let's see, the queen of productivity. Makes sense, yeah? A queen bee on a thistle. I am productive. These cards make absolute sense. We have fish swimming underneath lotus leaves. This is what? The poised and patient ones. I am poised and patient. I guess waiting for something to eat to fall into the water, maybe. Okay, this one takes a little bit of thought. Okay, harvest, yeah? A bird, very lively looking bird. We've had a lot of skeletons so far. This one's got all of its feathers and looks very alive. This is the keeper of youth. Okay, we've got apples, we've got berries, we've got the sun. Beautiful, beautiful. So it's a good idea to keep the Oracle deck and the Tarot deck separate, so you don't confuse this with perhaps a sun card, yeah? This one is a snake, and the snake says the staff of Asclepius, the staff of Asclepius, yeah? I am a capable healer. My hands protect and preserve life. Perfect, and look at the jewel, the pearl at the top of the staff. Oh, this is lovely. Okay, what do we have? We have a lobster or a crayfish coming out of the water, looking a little bit like a moon card. And this is, okay, the disciple of the moon. I escape stagnation and release myself from past mistakes. I get that. I get that here. Okay, the next one. Okay, we've got a magnifying glass and a key. So not so much secrets, but perhaps investigation. What do we get? The seeker. This is the seeker. I see that which is kept hidden. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And, okay, well, I shouldn't have drawn the cards that way. What do we have? We have, oh, this looks like the gate of hell, doesn't it? This looks like, what is the name of the dog? Cerberus? Yeah? Hades protector dogs, three-headed dog. And we have the gates of Hades, yes. All the secrets that ever were or ever will be are found in me. I descend deep within and touch the core of hidden truth. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so what do we have next? I'm getting hungry. This is, okay, the sun and moon. What do we have? The bringers of light. With this sigil, I capture the light of moon and sun and to cleanse and purify all who see or touch it. Okay, that makes sense. And here we have, we have a staff and a mirror, doorknobs maybe. The tools of fate and free will. Okay, sure. I see and accept reality and change what I can for the better. Scissors. Oh, I just noticed the scissors there. And I believe this is, yes, the last card, which I'm sorry is upside down, and this is the Prophet. Yeah? I receive visions of the past, present, and future. I interpret that which lies beyond the veil to the betterment of all. And we have purple candles for scrying and magic working. We have a raven. We have another creature, another bird skeleton there. These decks are just beautiful. They're just beautiful. Now, if you're still with me, thank you for staying with me. This is just so interesting. I'm going to shuffle this deck just to show you how easy it is to shuffle. And to shuffle, I'm going to get rid of my crystals so I have enough room to manipulate the deck. I just want to show you that this deck, as thick as it looks, is not difficult to shuffle. Let me cut it into 3, and let's see what is a message that we would benefit from hearing today. Okay, so I can't do it this way. My overhand goes this way. What is a message that we would benefit to hear today? Now, I am not the best overhand shuffler, and you just saw that nothing flew out of my hands. And I'm going to keep these all upright this time. So, look at this, riffle shuffling. Beautiful. Bridging. Okay, sorry. Let me try that again. Without talking, I'll be able to do that better. Riffle shuffle and a bridge. See? It's just lovely. We do one more shuffle. What is a message that we would benefit from hearing today? Look at that. And notice, no curving. Now this cardstock is just phenomenal. Let me do one more overhand. What is a message that we would benefit from hearing today? Last shuffle. Whoa, okay, so like I said, that's not the cards, that's me. I am a really, really poor overhand shuffler. It doesn't happen very often with this deck, though, that things go flying out of my hand. And so, because I'm such a poor overhand shuffler, I do not read flyers, because I know it's not the deck, it's me. Sometimes I look at them, but not this time. Okay, so, what is a message that we would benefit from hearing today? And what do we get? We get... look at that. Perfect. Yeah, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of coins. Yeah, 8 of coins. And I will read from the book, but we know that this is the 8 of coins. That is working our craft, mastering our craft, being diligent, putting in the time, doing the work. And we would benefit from that. We would all benefit from that. But let me briefly tell you what the book says. What does the book say? Nod to Simon at the Hermit's Cave. 8 of coins, sigil affirmation. I am dedicated to honing my craft through practice, hard work, and diligent study. Practice, hard work, and diligent study. Perfect. Upright. Study. Honing one's skill or craft. Higher education or apprenticeship. Expertise. Ambition. You are skillful enough to see areas where you can improve and wise enough to discern them. The imperfections you encounter through practice invite mastery, but only when you dedicate time to correct your mistakes. It is your attention to detail and perfection that others admire. They will come to you soon with offers to work, yielding generous compensation. Well, that's a wonderful message. Now, let me briefly tell you what some of these symbols mean in the big book. I'm not going to put this on camera. You can look at the card. You can see the card very well. And let me read from some of the information in the book, not all of it. Let's see, we have branches, moving into coin. Okay, here we go, coins. And we have the 10, the 9. There we go, the 8 of coins. Okay, so again, same information, but we have the element is earth, of course. Sun in Virgo is the astrology. Animals, the cat, the mule and the crow. Plants, oats, Solomon's seal, fenugreek, fenugreek. I don't know that one. Fenugreek. Okay, I'm sorry, my pronunciation is horrible. Crystals, fluorite, yellow calcite, and hematite. Good things to... So when you pull this card, if you have those crystals, carry them during the day. Colors, green, yellow, and orange. Candles, green and yellow. Yeah. Curiosity did not kill the cat so much as her folly. She became cautious where before she was jolly. But experience came forth and gifted her wings. Now she has no need to be scared of such things. Now the small spell-like poem at the bottom. Overview. Someone has been burning the candle at both ends, and their work area wears the scattered scars of their diligent labor. Thick books laid bare, their pages worn and well loved, rest piled up on top of the others. Scrolls with hidden content, each curled inward and bound with twine, litter the right side of the pile, while next to them an inkwell with a raven's quill rests still partially submerged. A large and tired candle still burns. Its wax pools upon the skull that supports it. All these signs indicate that the one who recently left will soon return. A curious black cat patiently awaits her master's reappearance, and in the meantime lets her greedy eyes roam the pages of the ancient tomes, enticed by their mysterious beauty. We've got a beautiful, beautiful description of this card. Now the sigil. This sigil. I am dedicated to honing my craft through practice, hard work, and diligent study. We mentioned that already. The 8 coins remind us that we can master any skill and achieve any goal if we are willing to put in the time and mastery that mastery demands. Yet there are times when we struggle to prioritize our practice. Suggested uses for the sigil include, but are not limited to, improving study habits, practicing one's skill with the intent of mastery, strengthening one's dedication to improvement. Oh, this is so wonderful. Then we got the symbols described, the coins, the books and scrolls, the inkwell, the raven quill, the skull and candle, the cat, all described in great detail. And then colors, green and yellow. Why green and yellow for this card? When the front said, oh yeah, it's green and yellow. So green is the color of the element earth, and so encompasses the nurturing ways of Mother Nature and the slow and steady growth she facilitates. The cat and her surroundings possess a greenish hue, implying that the nature of all things is to grow, learn new skills, and find new interests. Yellow alludes to the element air, representing the intellect, logic, and reason. The yellow is elevated to gold on the coins, suggesting that the harmony of our material and intellectual self and how it leads to the enlightened ways of one who is the master of their craft. This grimoire is wonderful. It's wonderful. Get the grimoire when you get the deck. And I highly recommend this deck. So friends, what do you think? I know this was long. If you're still with me, hit the like button and comment below what you think about this deck. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and hit the alarm bell so that you get notifications of when I upload videos. And comment below. I'd love to hear, are you going to get this deck? I'll put a link to where you can purchase the deck. I'm sorry, I'm spitting all over my deck. Below in the description box. So friends, talk to me. Let me know. And craft. Let's practice our craft. Friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.